So there's a lot of things that I have kind of a gripe with, and I'd say texting is one of them. Texting is one of those things where you kind of go into it and you're like, well, I mean, let me just text this person. And honestly, there are two kind of people in this world, or there's the third person, which is a very rare person. So you have the one person who decides, hey, I'm going to text first, and then you have the other person who usually waits for a text. Then you have the people who decide that they're going to kind of, intertwine their both of them, being like, all right, I'll text first sometimes, and hey, I'll text first the other time, which is a very good friendship. And if you have a friend like that, then props to you. And if you do that with your friends, then props to you also. Recently, I did a poll, which will be on the screen right now, saying that if you text first or do you wait for a text. And I bet some people end up doing both, but this is kind of what people end up doing most of the time, I would assume. And honestly, with these kind of polls, it didn't really surprise me that most people would wait for a text, because that's kind of what I assumed. But I was very surprised with how many people actually go out of their way to text first. And personally, I am actually a first texter, which I'm not really proud of doing a lot of the times, because most of the time when I text first, it ends up being this huge thing where I literally text someone and I feel like I'm an annoying piece of shit. And then when I get like a response that sometimes can be very plain and sometimes not, I just feel like it was not even worth texting in the first place. And there's times where like I'll text and I don't get a reply for hours on hours. And I understand people are busy, but there's like sometimes where it's just like, it takes like a fucking day. That's like way too much. Like, at least tell me like, all right, I'm busy. Like, then I'll understand. But if you fucking just like ignore me or put me on read or anything like that, like, get the fuck out of here. But anyways, beside the point. Texting 101 is kind of what this is going to be about, because I'm going to talk to you about how people should respond to texts, and unless you're trying to be petty, but if you're just trying to have like a normal conversation with someone, and if you're trying to like talk to a girl, this isn't really relationship advice, but just things to help you out, I guess, because I've had some experiences myself. So let's get into texting 101. So to start off, if you're trying to get into like a normal conversation with someone, and you're kind of friends with someone, and you don't really feel like being annoying with a text, I'd really, if you're really skeptical about texting first, like you have to text first once in a while. I feel when you text, that is kind of a big part of texting. Like even talking, like you starting the first initiative is usually pretty key in most relationships. Like, if you don't take the initiative, then what are you gonna get? Like, it's like if you can't just wait to get a job and wait for some huge company to be like, hey, you're cool, we're gonna bring you out to our company and you can work for us. No, you have to take the initiative. You have to take the first step sometimes, and that's pretty reasonable. And from there, that big company can come to you and talk to you about promotions and shit, or you take the initiative and be like, hey, where's my pay raise, or something like that. Texting is like talking in person. People are afraid to talk first. It's like getting a girlfriend. And like, I understand, I have this pain too, where it's like you don't really want to feel annoying in real life or through text to a girl that you like or a boy do you like, because that's kind of like, it's like a first like initial, like the first reaction you get sometimes from people. It's like you're kind of afraid to seem like you're like this weird kid who comes to like, hey, what's up? Or if you're a girl, you're like, hi. But like, sometimes to take that first initiative is sometimes the good thing. And I feel with the relationships in specific, sometimes there's people who are really shy to even talk to you or even like admit that they like you, because sometimes they're afraid that you don't like them. And I feel like if someone talks to you enough and wants to start like conversations with you pretty easily or something like that, I feel like at that point you should feel comfortable enough to kind of bring it up, even if you have a feeling they don't like you, because at least if you know that they do or do not like you, at least it's off your chest and you can finally like move on with yourself. Unless they're like one of those people who are like, oh, I didn't feel that at the time, but now I do. Which some people do that, and I don't get it. Like, I get it. Some people feel different ways, and then they feel something after. Like, most, if not all times, you kind of know if you like a person. I know people have some glow ups in their life, but you kind of know if you like someone or you kind of don't. There's people who've told me like, oh, well, I'm not interested now, but in the future I could be. No, I'm sorry. That makes no sense. This is getting off track of texting 101, but I'm sorry. If someone says they're not interested now, they're probably not going to be interested later unless you have money or you're packing some abs or you got hit in the face like fucking Squidward in SpongeBob and you finally somehow got really attractive, more attractive than you are. But, you know, you're beautiful and I told you so right now. Okay? You're welcome. But like that's things that you should kind of keep in track. Like make initiative sometimes, but like this kind of comes full circle though with texting. You got to make the first initiative. Sometimes here or there. I know people feel the same way as like I understand both ways. You want to take that first text, but you also kind of want to wait because you want to see. Because usually people, you know, you don't want to like interrupt them or feel annoying, and I feel that way. But I hate trying to have conversations with people that I really want to talk to or that I really feel comfortable with, and they just don't text me for fucking weeks. That is my problem. That is texting 101. Like, I understand. And also, when you're texting, I know it's really hard to have conversations without sounding very sarcastic or sassy, because trust me, there's times where like I'm very like genuine or very like joking around, and people take my text very seriously. So before like any like if you have a friend or a girlfriend or anyone who texts you and they have like this very like hateful thing, unless it's clearly meant to be hateful or they're joking around, definitely ask someone if they're being sarcastic or not, because most of the times people will get pissed at someone's text and it won't even be the way that they think it is. They'll read it in one way, but someone will mean it in a sarcastic way, in a joking way, and then they'll start a fight for no reason, because in person that text would have sounded way more jokingly or sarcastic and it would have been more funny, or that even in person, at least if it wasn't funny, at least you knew it was a joke at least, and you don't need to take it as seriously. That's another thing with texting that really grinds my gears is I can't really say things. I still do it anyways, but like I have to be very careful with what I say on text, at least like, because I read it one way and some people read it another way, and people will get pissed at me for like days and I'll be like, why are you pissed at me? They'll be like, well, you texted me that, and I'll be like, I meant it as a joke. Like, you could clearly tell by like some things I wrote or the emoji that I put. And that's another thing. People hate having emojis, but emojis really help you kind of understand what way someone's talking. So if I'm saying, well, you're gay, and I put a laughing emoji, usually when I put a laughing emoji, it usually means a joke. So, and being gay is not a bad thing, by the way. It's just, you know, it's what friends do. Just not trying to be offensive. So just trying to put that out there. But like, it's very good to have context, and texting, you definitely need to have some context. And I feel like some people don't add context to what they're saying. And I completely understand, like, reading something and kind of feeling like, oh, it could mean this, but you gotta take it from another point of stance, just to be like, well, give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if they're really close to you and they're really, really good friends, or just vocalize, be like, is that joke or not? But yeah, other than that, texting 101, I feel it's very important for people to understand texting and how to interactively text. Like, it's like real life. You wouldn't just want someone coming up to you all the time. You would want yourself to kind of take initiative to do things. As I said, like getting a job or doing something that you want to do and pursue, you need to take initiative, and that is pretty much keeping any relationship. So when it comes to texting, I understand. I get both sides. I really do. But definitely play both fields sometimes, and yeah, that's how I see it. So with that said, thank you guys for listening to my texting 101 talk. Definitely leave a like if you agree. But yeah, share this with people also if you agree. If you definitely agree, definitely share with people to get the knowing. Yeah, just let people know that texting is a very important thing, because it's like interaction in our modern day and age. Like, it's very important, so people need to understand that. And also, when it comes to tweets that are like years old and shit, don't put that against people. Really, people grow as people, and we fuck up sometimes, and it's okay. People don't need to lose their jobs or feel horrible about things they said when they were fucking 5-10 years younger. Obviously people grow, and obviously dark humor's a thing and it's a joke, and people shouldn't be taking things so seriously because our generation is kind of weak when it comes to that. But other than that, without my opinions aside, because I'm Gloria Bolger, and not to give my opinion around, but thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys had a wonderful day whenever you watch this, and I hope you guys have a rest of your day that is wonderful, and yeah, peace out, broskies.